certified pre-owned vehicles at Milton Rubin Chevy. Online at MiltonRubinChevy.com.
Baby.com. Click, click.
Closed captioning for News 12 is brought to you by Kenneth Nugent. From the station that's on your side, News 12, first at 5, continues.
And we begin with this live look at a new farmers market in South Augusta, a group called Growing Augusta, partnering with the city to make this happen. They're offering more than fresh food. They're offering health screenings, voter registration, a petting zoo, along with cooking demonstrations, and even a walking club.
The market is at the Henry Brigham Community Center on Golden Camp Road until 6:30 tonight. The plan is to have the market every third Wednesday of each month. Meanwhile, Augusta locally grown veggie farmers market is set to open next week, but someone stole the trailer with their tables and chairs.
Claire Allen live in our newsroom right now with the importance of this market and how they're working to overcome this latest challenge. Claire?
Augusta Locally Grown works with local farmers to put on farmer markets in Augusta's food deserts. For neighborhoods like historic Harrisburg, it's one of their only chances to get access to fresh foods and healthy foods. That's why when the organization realized their trailer with all their tables, chairs, and marketing signs got stolen, they knew they had to do something fast. With just a week until their upcoming veggie park market, they posted to their Facebook page hoping the community could step up and help. Within minutes, they had donations rolling in.
You're almost at the end of your wits and you're just trying to supply food for your community, and then this happens and you're like, oh my gosh, and then the community comes through.
Coming up on News 12 at 6 o'clock, we'll hear more from Augusta Locally Grown and how exactly they were able to surpass their goal.
So a story that started off sad has a happy ending. Thanks for that, Claire. Augusta's Lock and Dam Park is still closed because of safety concerns after last week's flooding. Emergency management says the closing is because of debris that washed ashore by high water levels of the Savannah River. The river has remained at or near flood levels for nearly 2 weeks now, but the north and south both ramps remain closed. We're not sure when the park itself will reopen, though. Let's take a look with our First Alert Chief Meteorologist, Riley Hales.
Riley, thank you. Just into our newsroom in the last hour, District Attorney Jared Williams telling us a Burke County jury has found a man guilty of molesting a child, and the conviction will keep him confined for decades. Brian Gonzalez Colocho was found guilty of sexually abusing a 7-year-old boy, indicted by the jury back in 2020. He's sentenced to 25 years in prison without parole and an additional 20 years of confinement. The district attorney says the work of child enrichment helped lead to that conviction.
Check it out, more than 1,000 pinwheels for 1,000 kids. That's how many children child enrichment services helped in our community in just the last year. Today, they broke ground on a new facility.
That will have additional interview rooms, an on-site medical room, more therapy space, a training room. Our Will Volk takes us to the groundbreaking and shows us why child enrichment is so important.
Today, our community is demonstrating that our children are a priority.
Child enrichment has been waiting a long time for this.
We have needed a new facility for years, so it is exciting to think of the impact we'll be able to have on the community and the children we're able to serve.
Shovels met dirt for a new child enrichment headquarters. Executive Director Carrie Viola Brooks says this will help them better serve kids in need during a time when they're seeing a big rise in child abuse cases.
It has been draining. I just said just last month we did 82 forensic interviews. The most we've ever done before that is 65. So there has been a huge increase.
People put pinwheels in the ground, more than 1,000 of them. Each one represents a child in our area who needed help last year. Viola Brooks says it's been difficult to keep up.
It puts a lot of work on our staff, and in really tight quarters where we don't have enough space, it has just been an extreme hardship. So in this new facility, we will have more than enough space to provide the services that are needed right here in our community.
She's excited. They're now one step closer to bringing that new building to our community. In Augusta, Will Volk, on your side.
And they do such important work. She expects they're going to move into that new facility in May of next year. Happening right now, Aiken County leaders listening to comments from the public about plans to really transform downtown Aiken. They're talking about Project Pascalis, which is a plan to demolish the old Hotel Aiken and replace it with a new hotel, retail space, new apartments. We have a crew at that meeting right now. We're going to look at what they're talking about tonight on News 12.
A major announcement from the governor could finally help get Georgia's medical cannabis program off the ground. Governor Brian Kemp's office is directing $150,000 from the governor's emergency fund to the state's Medical Cannabis Commission. The goal is to speed up protest hearings over who is allowed to produce cannabis oil in Georgia. Licenses were granted to 6 companies last year, but companies who lost their bid are challenging. Happening tomorrow, controlled blasting on Ferry Road, so heads up. You might hear some loud noises. Columbia County will be doing that between Oleander Trail and Millstone Drive. They say, do not be alarmed if you hear or even feel a loud boom around 8:30. This is to help the road widening project on Fury's Ferry.
I'm sure we will still receive a few phone calls about that tomorrow.
Yes.
Into the weekend, it's going to be getting warmer. Mid-80s both afternoon, Saturday and Sunday. Have a look at those rain chances for you just after the break.
And also ahead, flowers, the dress, the dinner, a tux. Prom season back in a big way. We're going to show you the preps when First at 5 continues.
Time and low rain chances, and it doesn't look like much, so mostly dry over the next 7 days.
Some breaking news to pass along. We're learning agents from SLED have arrested 2 men in an Allendale County burglary. The agency tells us Michael Douglas Jackson and Anthony Cordell are both charged with burglary and grand larceny.
Incident reports show they entered several vehicles at a property in Martin, South Carolina. The report shows they took tools, guns, ammunition, utility trailers, and a dump truck style vehicle. Would you tell a perfect stranger that you're not going to be home for a week? Well, if you're not careful, you will do that exactly the next time that you've got your toes in the sand. Coming up, how to share vacation photos safely.
Sacred Heart Cultural Center. For tickets, call or visit sacredheartgardencityfestival.com.
Our hearts went out to high school seniors. You know, the pandemic derailed so many traditions over the past few years. Prom is a big one, but this year, the celebration is back on, returning in full force.
Our Celeste Springer gives us a look at the building excitement and the busy preparations.
Behind every dress is Joanne's seat.
And I'm available anytime when you need me.
And if these sequins could talk, they tell you Joanne knows her way around a design.
Since I was a little girl, I like to draw.
She broke ground as she headed to the design school in her home country of Taiwan.
At that time, they didn't have design school. I was the first year. And there was not many women like my age being educated in Taiwan for college. Usually, Chinese tradition, they like to keep their daughter at home.
And after that, she settled here. She's been dressing girls since 1984.
This dress is a winner.
Including some faces that made it to TV.
I even had Miss America pageant, and they come from Chicago, fly down here for me to do their costume.
But then came 2020.
2020 was a disaster year. We lost 75% of our sales.
2021, better. But this year,
2022, after Christmas, we've been busy since before and after Christmas.
This has been her go time. In fact, when we stopped by on a weekday afternoon, it was hard to even get a chance to pull her aside between clients. The glitter splashed on her face, a testament to a woman who can't get her hands free.
So we've been very busy, very blessed to have many loyal customers come back.
And a reminder that even a pandemic can't stop a woman whose dream was to help other girls fulfill theirs.
I'm in the right business. That's why I last 40 years.
Celeste Springer, on your side.
Oh, she is so great. When the James Brown premiere, Get On Up, was here in town,
Yes.
I went to Joanne for the dress
Did
that I
you
wore on
really?
the red carpet, and
Yeah.
she picked out a perfect dress. It's good seeing her again, and good to know that her visit's still going strong.
Absolutely. Proms, social, weddings are back, you know, so
Yep.
they're very busy, and that's a good
Yes.
thing to see.
Absolutely. You still have a couple of more chances to see the Braves World Series trophy. Tomorrow afternoon, it will be at the historic Thompson Depot. That's at 5 o'clock. Then on Friday, the trophy will make its way to SRP Park in North Augusta. You will need to have a ticket to the game that night, though, in order to get your photo op. That's going to be at 6 o'clock in the evening.
Speaking of sports, the Hawks lost a tough game to the Heat last night, game 2 of their first round series.
Sports director Nick Proto is here with how the Hawks are feeling as the series now shifts to Atlanta.
Only 5 teams have ever beaten a number 1 seed as an 8 seed in the first round of the playoffs. If the Hawks want to become the 6th, they're going to have to win 4 of the next 5 games of this series. The good news, 3 of them going to be in Atlanta. The Hawks went 27-14 at home this season, tied for the 3rd best home mark in the East. They're 20-3 at home since mid-January. Atlanta could really use the boost from the hometown fans. The Hawks not shooting the ball great these last couple games, especially from 3, less than 30% in the series. Trae Young has just 32 points and 11 assists through the first 2 games, shooting less than 35% from the field. Trae says the team loves playing at home, and they're ready to try and knot this series up.
Atlanta's been bringing the energy these past month and 2 going into the playoffs and to the postseason, and we haven't played there in a long time, so at least it feels like it. And we're ready to get back home and get back to work. And game 3 is gonna be loud, it's gonna be fun, and we just gotta go home and take care of home. That's all we gotta do.
Game 3 of this series is Friday night at 7 o'clock. More sports coming up on News 12 at 6 o'clock, including a check-in on the Braves-Dodgers game. See you back here then.
Looking forward to it, Nick. Thanks. Here's something to keep in mind if you're planning a summer vacation. While you might wait until you get home to post those vacation photos, a lot of people might make the mistake of letting the world know their house is just sitting there empty.
Yeah, you don't want to advertise that. Jamie Tucker shows us how to safely post vacation photos only to friends you trust.
If you're sharing pictures of yourself on vacation, let me show you just how easy it is for a burglar to find an empty house using Facebook. They find a public Facebook group in the area. They tap on members and pick one to see their profile where they can see any of the photos posted publicly. If they find someone who's posted a vacation photo, that burglar knows that their house is probably empty. And most of us don't think about this before we post pictures of our toes in the sand. If you can't wait until you get home, you should do this. Set up a separate friends list. You'll want to do this on a computer, not a phone. Click on friends and then custom lists. Here you can make a list of people you trust. Click on add, remove, and add people to the list simply. When you post a vacation photo, then choose to share only with people on that list. Even if they like or comment on the post, only people on your custom list can see it. I've also found custom friends lists are good for certain types of posts. We all have friends who are easily offended. You may have friends you don't want to see your party pics, friends you may disagree with politically. So create a list of friends who are jerks. Don't laugh, we all have them. And then add their names to that list. So whenever you want to post something, without stirring those people up, you can choose to post to everyone except people on that list. Just in case you're thinking it, I'm not giving bad guys advice on how to case someone's joint. They already know people share way too much personal information on Facebook publicly. That's What the Tech. I'm Jamie Tucker.
Oh my, Jamie's getting real today.
He is.
With the jerks on his friend list.
But you know what? We all laughed because we all know the people on our list who would be in it.
Easily offended, too political, all
Yep,
that. So also remember, even when you don't accept those friend requests from someone, they can still follow your public posts. So even when you're unaware, people are watching what you post.
Yeah, and what's funny is if you post vacation pics to that small group of friends you trust and your house gets broken into, you've got a short list of suspects.
You know who did it?
Yeah, you do.
The good friends.
Not the jerks.
All right, guys, beautiful weather in store the next couple of afternoons. If you need...
How about this? The 5th Street Marina having a contest to see whose dog will be chosen for their 3rd annual dog wedding. It's a thing. They're asking people to post a photo of your dog on Facebook or Instagram and then make a case for why your dog should be chosen.
The wedding is scheduled for May 14th at 2 in the afternoon. Afterwards, there will be a reception. All the money raised will go towards That's What Friends Are For, animal rescue.
Sounds like an arranged wedding to me.
It does.
For a good cause.
Unfortunately, I don't think I can enter any of mine.
Is that
Hamilton does not play well with others, so yeah.
No.
Yeah, he's destined to be alone, Riley, a bachelor.
Some people are. Some people just
Yeah, it's okay.
Hey, I think Hamilton can find someone. He's got Eliza, and he's also got Mulligan. So
They're sisters.
Okay.
And they fight like
A little bit
siblings.
different.
So
Yeah, but doggy wedding. I saw that email earlier this afternoon. I thought that was pretty interesting. But Fifth Street Marina, dog wedding there, pretty cool stuff. Both afternoons, morning lows will get gradually warmer as well in the next week. No rain in the forecast until next Tuesday.
Riley, thank you. Still to come here, a plan that will be in place for years to come. We're checking in with the Augustus Homelessness Task Force about solutions, a closer look at expectations, and the timeline to make a lot of things happen. That's ahead on News 12 at 6 o'clock after a short break.
Investigate TV from the station that's on your side. This is News 12 at 6 o'clock.
Good evening. Let's begin with a live look outside our station there at Riverwatch and I-20. Beautiful afternoon, and we're wondering what's coming next. Let's check in with First Alert Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale. And Riley, is the coldest part of the week over?
Absolutely, Richard. That is the good news to report. We had a very cold start this morning at Bushfield. We actually did get down to 37 degrees. Inside Bobby Jones at Daniel Field, we did stay in the 40s, so a big temperature divide, but that'll be the coldest morning we see, hopefully, until next fall. No 30s in our forecast anytime soon. And high temperatures, they did get a little bit warmer for us, reached 73 earlier this afternoon in Augusta, currently down to 72, and most spots within a couple of degrees of that number, so a very comfortable afternoon. And looking great this evening. We do have the Green Jackets still in town tonight, and they will stay in town all the way through this weekend, even next week as well. They're going to give away 2,000 rally towels to the first 2,000 fans that show up. It's also Augie's reading night, so a great opportunity to bring the kids to the ballpark. Temps currently in the low 70s. Towards game time, we'll be dropping into the 60s, and in that game tonight, most likely into the 50s. We did see a good bit of sunshine today, but clouds will be moving in tonight, and for the first part of our Thursday, have a look at those rain chances into the weekend in just a little bit.
All right, thanks for that, Riley. Happening right now, South Augusta's first farmers market. Some great weather out there for that this afternoon. Giving you a live look out of the Henry Brigham Community Center, where the market's been open since 4, and it looks like a lot more people are trickling in there. They're going to start to pack things up in the next half hour, so you do still have a little bit of time to get out there. But then the market will be back every third Wednesday of the month. That'll be from 4 to 6:30, and you can find fresh food options, but also health screenings, voter registration, cooking demos, and a lot more. It's also almost time for the Veggie Park Farmers Market. That's in Harrisburg, but Augusta Locally Grown says it needs help making it happen. Unfortunately, they just posted on their Facebook page yesterday saying someone stole their trailer, taking a lot of their supplies with it, and they're worried they won't be ready by next week. But as our Claire Allen shows us, the donations, those are already pouring in.
Augusta Locally Grown is slated to kick off their first farmers market of the year next week, but things took a turn for the worse when their trailer full of tables, chairs, and marketing signs was stolen.
I need them to go to farmers markets, and I don't have that now. So where am I going to get them?
With no other options, the organization reached out to the community they serve.
And then I thought, let's try Facebook.
Augusta Locally Grown set up a Facebook page for donations and surpassed their goal within minutes. The main donors were the farmers themselves.
But they were willing to do it because they believe in food access. And here we're in a well-known food desert, and we're the only fresh food access point for miles.
They say the show must go on, and it's all thanks to people who live in the community.
You're almost at the end of your wits, and you're just trying to supply food for your community, and then this happens, and you're like, oh my gosh, and then the community comes through. I think what hits you is that, you know, when you see people rise up and come together, then it makes a difference.
That was Claire Allen reporting. We love to see the community coming together. And the Veggie Park Farmers Market, that's next Thursday, the 28th, at the address here on your screen. And don't forget, the market will double your SNAP benefits, meaning $2 in market tokens for every dollar spent. But we are going to put that address on our website, actually. If you want to help donate, you can check out their Facebook page. Taking you out live now, this is the old municipal building in downtown Aiken, where county leaders are getting your feedback on Project Pascalis. And you can see it is a packed crowd there tonight. This is the plan to demolish the old Hotel Aiken and replace it with a new hotel, some new apartments and shopping. It is a full house in there. It is standing room only, and our team says the main room is totally full. The overflow room is full, and they'll be cycling people in and out. So we're going to have highlights and hear some of the concerns from that meeting coming up tonight on News 12 at 11.
Well, it won't bring change overnight, but it will make a difference and make a difference for years to come. Augusta commissioners just passing a new strategic plan for the city's homelessness task force to help hundreds of people living in Augusta without a place to call home. It's a long-term plan with a lot of moving parts, and while they can put some of the efforts to work right away, others will take some time. Let's bring in News 12's Kennedy Harris live in our newsroom to give us a better idea of some of the short and long-term goals here. Kennedy.
Yeah, Richard, just like you said, some goals like the Salvation Army shelter or building affordable housing are long term. They have to find the money to make it happen. But the good thing is, through a year's work of planning, the task force found and created initiatives they decided to keep in place. So some things are already making a difference. It's not quite a home, but the Love Center on Fenwick Street offers a lot.
Clothes, food, shelter during the daytime, any hygiene products they may need.
Soon, their day shelter services will be partnered with the Homelessness Task Force initiatives.
There's an immediate need. You know, there's a human being at the end of the conversation that needs to feel safe and secure with their self and their belongings for a long period of the day.
Day sheltering is one of the short-term active goals of the task force, along with providing assistance to stop evictions in the courtroom, and the street outreach team continues to meet people on the streets, connecting them with resources.
The biggest need always has been, how can we get long-term shelter? I have a lot more people this year sleeping in their cars.
Some solutions take a little more money.
Like any community, Augusta, when it comes to dealing not just with the issue of homelessness, but poverty in general, has a greater sense of need than we do access to resource.
Establishing a mental health court to keep people out of jail, employment pipelines through a resource center, and affordable housing will take a while longer. But even if only for a day, one step is progress.
At the end of the day, that is our goal. We want to meet the needs of the people.
And right now, Love Centered Ministry serves about 55 people per day at their day shelter. Once the partnership is sealed with the city, they expect to serve about 80 people. You can help out by volunteering or donating. We'll have information on our website on how you can help with that.
Important progress there, Kennedy. Thanks for the live update.
Well, we did see a cold start early this.
Plus, if you're still looking for your refund from the canceled concerts at Lake Homestead Stadium, you're not alone. When the company in charge says you can expect to see your money. Next.
New on News 12 at 6 o'clock. After 6 homicides across the river region in the last 6 days, we're sitting down with the Richmond County Sheriff.
And this map shows the violent crimes we've reported in Richmond County just since last Thursday. 5 homicides and 5 shootings. And then just last night, shots fired at the Chevron gas station at the corner of East Boundary and Broad Street.
The Sheriff's Office telling us gang activity is behind at least 2 of the deaths. And it's why deputies say they'll be upping patrols and road checks in areas recently impacted by gang violence.
News 12's Sloan O'Cone sat down with Sheriff Richard Roundtree today to talk about the problem and the solutions.
I'm the father of 2 African-American boys. I see what is happening. It's heartbreaking to me to keep, 1, seeing these young African-American males die, and 2, having to send the other ones to prison. Then the parents calling me and being upset that I had to send their child away to prison. And that's why I'm trying to send a message now that this is a choice. This can stop. This can stop today, either voluntarily or it's going to stop by force.
So what are some of the other things that you have asked maybe commissioners or the community or more of the city level for outside of resources of y'all?
That is the key to sustaining, a lower crime rate. It's naive to sit outside and say you can eliminate all crime. But we definitely can reduce it, and we've been doing that. There's been a reduction for the last 10 years. There's been a reduction in crime. It's just when you have these anomalies, these upticks, that's when people want to say crime is running rapid. But crime has actually decreased in the last 10 years. But to make that work on a sustainable level, the community has to be involved. And that's talking about the civic leaders. We're talking about our faith-based organization, our county government. All these groups have to, and the neighborhood, have to be invested. I've said this many times before, you can never just arrest your way out of a problem. You can't lock your way up. That's all some of these individuals know. That's all they've ever seen. That's all they've been exposed to. They know nothing else. There's no programs for them. There's no events. There's no accountability. And that starts at home. Then it spills over in the community.
Has there been like any kind of outreach to churches or community centers from the sheriff's office to kind of help combat that?
Unfortunately, initially, everyone is supportive and they're on board. But things happen and it doesn't follow through. And that's, unfortunately, that's with all organizations, to include the government. We have a bad habit of not following through. We show our initial concerns and we don't follow through. That's a message that I've been saying for the last 10 years. And you know, my new message is the fact that, you know, if you're willing to throw your life away, if your intent is to achieve to spend the rest of your life in prison, then we're going to make that wish happen for you.
You know, back in January we talked about this is a generational issue. Is this a similar situation that we're seeing again?
Yeah, the situation we talked before, when I said it's a generational violence issue, now has escalated into, in essence, cultural genocide. We have black kids killing black kids, and then black kids going to prison for doing it. That is what's happening now. That is a reality. That is something that needs to be addressed. That's something that needs to be said. That's something that needs to be spoken about. You know, no one wants, especially when someone loses a loved one, want to defame their name saying it's because they were involved in the gang. What we're saying is there's a gang nexus that's causing the shooting that is happening. But it's not like we've stopped policing. And like I say, I would like to attribute it to a bad week, but my job is to not have another bad week.
Sheriff Roundtree, in his own words there, the sheriff says his office is going to continue to do everything they can to proactively and to punish those who commit crimes.
But he says there's only so much his office can do alone, and as a community, we all need to step up between the churches, the city leaders, the school, and more. And we'll continue to follow up on ways that the whole community can work together to fix this complex problem. Taking a look outside over Riverwatch Parkway and Alexander Drive this afternoon. A gorgeous afternoon for your commute. Riley, it looks like
Moves in next Tuesday, and even then looking like a slim chance for rain.
Flirting with 90 by next week. How about that for a warm-up? Riley, thanks. We are staying on top of your refund status if you bought tickets to that canceled concert at Lake Olmsted Stadium.
Well, some of you say you did get your money back. Others tell us you're still waiting 3 weeks after the shows were called off.
Our Alyssa Lyons spoke with ticket holders today who are begging the company in charge to show them the money.
It's been 21 days since XPR Augusta was canceled, but some people are still trying to get 21 days since XPR Augusta was canceled, but some people are still trying to get answers.
It's not a very good situation that I'm in right now, and I've about run out of opportunities or other avenues to follow.
Deborah Pullen bought 4 tickets as a Christmas present.
I reached out to XPR through their messenger site, asked them to please refund my money because I've got almost $900 invested.
Jody Wilson spent $4,000 on tickets.
This was kind of we're getting back to normal. You know, college kids come home, the high school kids come home. We all get to go to a concert, essentially make memories at a concert of 2 people that, you know, we all love.
C4 Live was the company in charge of putting on XPR Augusta. They tell us they refunded 400 people so far. but tell us because the high number of cancellations, refunds could take longer. For Jody, he's learned something.
The feeling is, yeah, you've been duped. So it's kind of one of those where you're like, all right, well, lesson learned.
In Augusta, Alyssa Lyons on your side.
Well, as we mentioned, C4 Live says they've issued 400 refunds. We did ask how many total they have left to issue, but they tell us they don't share ticket sale information.
They also told us refunds may start processing up to 20 business days from the posted cancellation date, but it has been 21 days since the concert was canceled. To sports now, USC Aiken lifts the interim tag on Michael Holder. Plus, we check in on the Braves next with Nick.
On your sideline, sports brought to you by the Hawk Law Group.
For the first time in more than 20 years, the USC Aiken baseball team's playing without head coach Kenny Thomas. Thomas retired after last season, and Michael Holder took over in the interim. Today, the Pacers announced they'd be taking the interim tag off Holder, naming him the new head baseball coach. Holder's in his second stint with the Pacers, also coaching with the team in the late 2000s. He spent time in Division I and Division II, helping lead North Georgia to a World Series berth in 2017. Holder, an Evans native and AU grad, has been back with the Pacers since then, helping lead the team to a Peach Belt championship game in 2018 and coaching All-American Connor Durden in 2019. USC Aiken is 18-22 on the year, sitting at 7th in the Peach Belt standings. Last night, Kenley Jansen got Freddie Freeman to fly out to end a baseball game. Any other year, that would mean the Dodgers beat the Braves, but with Jansen and Freeman switching places in the offseason, it meant Atlanta picked up a big win against LA. Today, these teams are finishing their series before Atlanta comes home on Friday. Charlie Morton and Tony Gonsolin starting this afternoon. The Braves didn't have a hit through the first 5 innings, only had 3 on the day. Freddie Freeman had a home run in the bottom of the first inning, a 2-run shot, his second of the series. That would be more than enough as the Dodgers go on to win this game 5-1 and the series 2-1. Atlanta has the day off tomorrow before coming back home for a 7-game homestand. Finally this evening, tennis legend Maria Sharapova announces she's pregnant. The Russian star is one of just 10 women to ever win the career Grand Slam. Riley?
Well, we made it into the mid-70s this afternoon. We're talking upper 70s.